And hello, and welcome. There was not sound, no, we were just setting things up, and I just started the stream to allow people to join in. So today we have our final quarterfinals between SAS Arctic and TLH. This quarterfinal did actually happen yesterday, but we have the VODs for it, which we're going to cast for you guys. Hopefully none of the teams have given it away. All of the teams, please do not give away who the winner is until after the final game's done. Um, and yeah, today I have with me Trollzoe.
What up?
Perfect. And we have the games already. We'll just let a few more people trickle in if they want to get past the 20 point. Um, so SAS Arctic versus TLH. Both of these teams, they've had a big reset. Um, they swapped out a lot of their players. TLH is completely new from the ground up, just Sandarius, but we did see them in a scrim. Um, SAS, they've kept a few of the players. I think I Hate My Life and Auto Kill both returning, but I think most of the other players are completely new. So we get to see how they have come together for this first series, and we should get a little taste of just how competitive we'll be looking at uh, for the next season. In terms of pick bans, we of course do not have those because it's a vodcast. Unfortunately, that's how this works. I suppose if I wanted to put in a load of effort, I could recreate it in somewhere, but no offense, I don't want to put hours into doing that. Um, Maybe if we had like thousands of people and this was like viable for me not having a job, then we might be in a different story, but no, that's not going to happen. Um, so coming into this first game, to let people know who are the players who are playing on the side of SAS Arctic, we have Accept playing in the top lane, we have Miximus playing in the jungle position, we have I Hate My Life in the mid lane, Autokill as the ADC, and Skeins in that support role. Whereas on the other side for TLH, we have Dropout in that top lane, Almond in the jungle, Joeyka coming back in that mid lane. Sandarius, of course, is returning as the ADC yet again, and we've got Lucifer KS as that support. Hopefully, won't be KSing too much. Um, how about Trollzoe? You want to run us through what these picks we have got?
Well, on the side of SAS, I'm seeing instantly the Senna with the Glacial Augment together with the Braum on the support, which is a pretty strong bot lane. If one of them just hit their slow, they're going to be able to run them down, especially with the Senna running that approach velocity, probably. While on the other side, we have the Ashe and the Morgana, a more safe lane. Can be quite deadly if the Morgana manages to hit the Q, especially with the slow of the Ashe as well. Then in the mid lane, we have Syndra versus Galio. I don't know mid lane matchups. I just know that Galio is a pain to play against if you're any type of AP champion. Syndra, on the other hand, being a pretty safe AP champion, managed to dish out a lot of damage in the late game team fights. Then in the jungle, we have Elite versus Jarvan. Elise a very, very strong duelist in the early game, probably wanting to get a lot of pressure on the map early, as to where the Jarvan might be able to provide more in the later game team fights. And in the top lane, Fiora versus Ornn. Ornn being amazing to get these items to the other players, come the late game, adding more scaling to the enemy team, not to his team, hopefully. And Fiora also being a very strong duelist, a very strong split pusher in the late game.
Yep. So you can only watch in 1080p. That's probably because it's only streaming in 1080p. I would guess I may probably need more for an affiliate or whatever. Um, anyway, back to what we see. Yes, we got this Fiora into Ornn matchup. You'd expect the Fiora to eventually start outscaling that Ornn If you're well versed in this matchup, you can use a lot of Ornns in 8cc against him and definitely get the push priority there. With Elise and Jarvan, we of course expect lots of ganking early. Syndra into Galio is a very boring matchup, and I wouldn't really expect too much to be happening in that bottom lane. Um, I don't think there's much more to say about this. Are you ready to start?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we'll do a countdown and then both press play at the same time.
Yes.
Are you ready? So 3, 2, 1, play. There we go, and we can start to see. Oh god, I've just realised. Super scuffed. I didn't even change the teams. I mean, of course the teams were changed. Look, it, it's we're getting there. Nothing happening. Uh, just some NA production values coming through. There we go, all fixed. Nothing bad happening. So we see both teams doing a fan out. Except, and I hate my life, both in that pixel brush towards the top side. Hoping that Armand steps just a little bit too far forwards, get some poke on him if possible. But I don't think he will fall for that. Looks like maybe he is going to. Nope. Skanes was just going in to see if he could spot anyone out on that blue buff. Quite risky, but nothing going on. Oh, he gets the ward in, but does
Here we
take
go,
about
yeah.
250 damage. Yeah, if we want to talk about the overall team comps, TLH have a very team fight focused comp. Lots of zone control with the Ornn, with the Jarvan, and that Galio. Lots of extremely CC heavy comp. I would expect to see a lot Merc Treads coming through, especially for some people like the Fiora, like the Braum.
But we had Galio walking past Syndra in that mid lane brush.
Getting that deep ward onto the blue buff so they know that Elise will be starting red and they'll be able to see when she gets to that eventual blue buff. So she should have some idea of her gank paths. Some nice
Some
trading
very
coming
early
down.
trading coming down.
Yeah, I hate my life just got a bit too close to the Galio. Took a slightly bad trade, but overall it's going to be fine. We'll just keep using those auto attacks, that range advantage to get ahead. Meanwhile, in the top lane, there was a slight trade between Accept and Dropout. Dropout just coming out on the top there, but he is being zoned off of this wave. You can see the Fiora Vital is on the wrong side, and he hasn't backed off far enough to get it to reset. If you're in this position in your solo queue games, back off, get the Vital to reset so that Fiora actually has to come close to you to proc it. You see Accept hits level 2 first. Gets some nice trading down. Meanwhile, not much going on in this bottom lane. Just a nice farm up lane. Both lanes are pretty safe. With the Braum and the Senna together, it'll be quite hard to kill either of them. The Morgana, of course, has her shield, as well as with the Ashe slows. I wouldn't expect a kill to come down there, unless there is a lot of heavy ganking. There are pings going towards the top lane from Jarvan. Of course.
Jarvan moving in through the river. There doesn't seem to be a ward right now. He's coming in
Oh,
unseen.
Riposte was used.
The W to slow Fiora down. Downing couple auto address. Flag and drag hitting. The Ornn not quite committing. A double flash going down, but Jarvan getting the first blood.
And yeah, the riposte would have been fine had you not been being ganked there. You really want to put a Fiora behind. Don't even let her get into the game. Of course, she will eventually get into the game by herself. But,
Looks like Fiora is out for vengeance right here, fighting over that scuttle. Fiora wanting to catch the Jarvan out here, but Jarvan is pretty safe. But at least it's also here.
Don't think he had his flag and drag up, but he's just sitting there. The gank in the mid lane.
But the taunt hitting onto Elise, but Syndra managing to put a lot of damage into the Jolyu, but managed to use his E to get away.
And the repeat gank onto the Fiora, knowing she TP'd back in. Oh,
the
that's
riposte
just
not hitting
brutal.
anything again. The flag and drag knocking her up. But she manages to get away, just barely. Ornn also taking up a couple of tower shots there.
Oh my god, the Galio's items. Is this just big brain? You can see here
But
why neither of these bot lanes should be able to really get a kill. Braum blocks all the damage with his shield. Morgana stops any CC coming through onto the Ashe. That's as simple as it is. Yeah, this big brain Galio buy. Um, wow, that's a
it's a
lot of
Yumi
free
build.
beans.
I feel like it's a reverse Yumi build, where you build 4 fairy charms in the early game, because literally every item you buy needs 2 fairy charms.
Yeah, except not everything Galio's gonna buy needs rejuve beads.
No.
It's a bit interesting. It's a interesting use of 600 gold. That's a lot of gold. He's essentially shoved 2 kills in here to say, you know what, I'm just gonna regen my way through this lane. I can see Accept is slowly pushing in this wave. I would expect him to try and get another back off after getting it in. Just because he's quite low on health. A nice riposte. But not much coming out of that. Jarvan, we can see, has gone for the Tiamat first, wanting to get a slightly quicker clear in the jungle. Be able to keep up with the Elise's clear. Elise, of course, can have quite a fast clear. If she is maxing that W first. Not much going on. We do have a Cloud Drake spawned early, so I expect there to be not much fighting around this. I would like for TLH to actually try and pick it up, just because the amount of really defining ultimates that they have on their team makes that Cloud Drake very useful for them.
No Jarvan moving in for this bot lane, but he was spotted on a ward earlier.
Oh, they
Elite's
caught
going
him.
in on him. Jarvan getting caught out here, flag and dragging over to the Dragon Pit to stay safe, but Braum is on the chase, getting hit by the Morgana Q.
Hate My Life was also there, but flash the wall. Oh my god.
Oh, the blast comes same with both of them, but the Syndra hitting the stun, dealing more damage into the Jarvan, popping the ultimate, not quite getting the kill.
Unleashed the power, but it wasn't enough power, and SAS's uh, their reward for that will be picking up the Drake. They did accidentally hit the blast cone, weren't on point with their blast cone mechanics, actually giving a free disengage and spending a flash.
Oh, but here we have the Call of the Thunder God coming in.
Nice
Call of
dodge
the
though
Force God.
from Accept. Of course, Accept plays a lot of Camille. That's what he climbed on. So we can see he obviously didn't get his hands on Camille here, having to play the Fiora instead. But Fiora, perfectly good the matchup as long as you don't fall too far behind. You should always be able to out trade against this Ornn, especially when you start getting some of that lifesteal down. Just clearing out the minion wave. We'll pick up the Tiamat first, just so you can continually push. I'd expect that to be built into a Ravenous Hydra. I think as well we would expect to see that Bramble Vest from the Ornn. If we don't see the early Bramble Vest from the Ornn, it's a pretty int move. Nice interrupt on the build. Yes, that's something you can always do. If Ornn's trying to build right in front of you, very disrespectful, just hit him. It'll interrupt the build.
Smack him in the face.
And
That's how you counter it.
exactly. Then he's just been sitting there for a few seconds doing nothing. Meanwhile, not much going on in this mid lane. Both mid laners on about 55-ish CS. Both junglers just farming up, again, about equal on CS. Pretty much. We have the same thing all across the board. With those ganks on the Fiora, she's not managed to get a real advantage in terms of CS up in that top lane. She pushed that wave in and has taken the back, although it looks like maybe it's not pushed in. Dropout is trying to keep it here, but that looks like he might be able to freeze that actually. We'll have to keep an eye on whether he decides to. Of course, Fiora will be able to just very easily push it in with that Tiamat as soon as she gets back to lane. And we're in pretty much a lull state in the game. About a 300 gold lead to the side of TLH. So really just that kill. It's pretty much to be expected. Armand
Although
maybe...
we might have Jarvan getting caught out here, getting hit by the stun, but the Syndra just being locked down for ages here with the Flagon Dragon, the taunt, and the Jarvan ultimate. But the Elite's going in, using the to close the distance, smiting, trying to get the kill, gets the kill, but also dies. Now it's a 1v1 between the Braum and the Jolyu, but Braum choosing to leave that. In the end, a 2-for-1 in the favor of TLH.
Oh, and there's the enchantment
Oh, but an
crystal
arrow coming down. Astana using a cleanse, still being very slowed, and the camera decided to go top lane instead.
Yep, we did see her flash away, but I'm not sure if she needed to flash there at all. Interestingly, Galio has got the push advantage over this Syndra. You can see he's managed to get 2 plates down, in fact. That's quite a lot. Quite a lot indeed. Some more trades in this top lane. That would be the time to riposte. You walk into melee distance pretty much of the Ornn because you know he's going to try and auto attack you. Oh, we can see that Galio has sold one of his 4 rejuve beads.
Oh.
In order to buy his first item. Maybe this is what it is. Just every time he gets an item, he's going to sell one of those rejuve beads. They're just holding item slots for him. We see pings coming onto the Infernal Drake as well. TLH knowing that that will be spawning soon, wanting to pick that up.
See pings coming down here. Jarvan obviously wanting to get the scuttle and...
Might see a fight over this. Smite comes down.
So Fiora going in, doing a lot of damage to the Jarvan. Jarvan just trying to run away, but Ornn is coming here to reinforce.
Walk out.
The stun missing. The Galio is clearing the way. See, the Herald started up here by SAS.
Jarvan's on his Raptors. Just say he doesn't want to try and force it here. I would like for Elise to try and put this Herald top lane, get some gold into that Fiora. Your Fiora is something that's really important. Oh, it looks like we might have a fight over this Herald actually.
Yeah, Jarvan
was
choosing
left
to come
by
back.
herself.
The Flagon Dragon missing, but the ult hitting, flashing out of the ult. Call of the Forge God coming down.
It is picked up by SAS, but will they get it?
Fiora flashing out, an amazing stun coming down from the Syndra. Syndra getting caught by the Jolyu W.
You can see Fiora wanting to go back in there. You can see how low Jarvan is. Knows there's a bounty on his head.
Ornn also chasing down this Fiora.
Somehow auto kill's been chunked out yet again.
See things coming towards this dragon here.
Dragon will be started by TLH. Let's have a quick look at stacks on Senna. She has 17 stacks on that passive.
A teleport coming down from SAS.
They know this is going on. Over the wall, stolen.
Another steal coming down from the Elise. The Elise is just hitting all the smites right now.
Oh, but in the back line.
Fiora coming in from the back line. And members of TLH using that blast cone again to get away. That blast cone has been their best friend this game.
That one blast cone in particular has been great. You know what they need to do? Build an Umbral Glaive, kill that blast cone so it never comes back again.
That blast cone is now an honorary member of TLH after having saved them 2 times.
For anyone that doesn't know, that was a bug in the game. It got fixed in the Worlds patch, and I believe last patch, or it's going to be fixed this Tuesday on live. Yeah, it was fixed in one of the 2. But apparently that was in the game for the longest time. If you killed a plant with Umbral Glaive, it would never come back.
We had the Gully go, just some trading going down on Syndra, chunking a lot of her health.
We can see those rejuve beads really helping out when you get a lot of these short trades. Ornn has been getting a lot of damage down onto that top tower. Just pushing in quite a lot. That's not really what you expect to see when it's a Fiora matchup. The Fiora does have the Rift Herald still, I believe? No, she used it mid. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Like, I think I would have preferred her to try and get as much of the gold just into herself as possible. Because really you need this Fiora to be strong on the side lane because she's not going to be useful in team fights. You're never going to win the team fights with this team.
Oh, that E going wide, but
Ooh,
Ornn is still on the Fiora, using the Call of the Forge God.
nice dodge,
Fiora
but
manages to dodge it, but Fiora is just taking too
doesn't
much
get
damage
that last stack of the ultimate.
and flashes the Elise E. Dropout just playing that very well, getting the kill and getting out.
And a big misplay, really, from Accept there. Um, I believe he just had the final vital from his ult left on the bottom side that he did not manage to get to. Of course, if you proc all the vitals, you get massive healing, and even with the grievous wounds, that should have kept him alive long enough to finish on.
The taunt almost going down on the Syndra with Jarvan coming in for a gank.
Apparently the stream, Twitch is being annoying and only allowing people to stream in exactly 1080p. But, oh well, it happens. Hopefully I'll be able to change that soon. I just need to stream for 4 more days this month. That's it.
Ooh.
Yeah. We got the 50 followers done. We've got the average viewers done.
Wait, this month, so it resets in 4 days. Oh, but we have
It's
another
in...
trade going down here in the top lane. Nothing. But we have
Ooh,
Elise and Jarvan coming in here. Elise being there
oh,
first,
Cocoon misses.
missing the stun. The Sentinels coming in to try and support. The Jarvan hitting the flag and drag and the ult on Elise, but Elise managed to pick up the kill on the Ornn. We have the Gully ult coming in as well, knocking up the Fiora. Managed to get the Fiora.
At least Fiora jumping into the Jarvan ult, and Galio just with the entrance there, Hero's entrance, coming in. You see that wombo combo that's supposed to be used for the engage, not really as a defensive tool. But it ends up working out for them.
It's just such a strong combo of ultimates to use, locking someone down with the Jarvan ult, and Galio ulting in there without them being able to move away.
Yeah, again, you can just see why pretty much nothing could get done in this bot lane. Any engage from SAS and, oh, Morgana shield.
Oh, but she doesn't have Morgana shield now, hitting the Braum
Engage,
flashing in
flashing
and
forwards.
ulting. Morgana goes golden, but
Flash
Senna should
with
have
the
the damage.
shield back
Flashes
up
out with the
already.
back shield. Senna getting hit by the root, cleanses it instantly. Braum
Flash
jumps
forward
in
for
the
the
way. The flash
Steris.
forward from Ashe, getting the kill. Right as to say nothing's going to happen this bot lane.
Just as we said, nothing's happened.
TLH gets a
SAS
double kill.
overforced, probably feeling the pressure from the rest of the map not going in their way. Really trying to force that, and it not working out for them.
But here's
Nice.
the jungler skirmishing, at least getting hit by the flag and drag.
It's
The
a
Ashe
nice
barely
buffer.
going wide.
Beautiful buffer there from the Jarvans that he gets the flag and drag off even through the Elise Cocoon. You can see the gold lead has opened up to just over 4,000 for the side of TLH. That's probably why we're seeing a few more desperate sort of plays coming out from SAS Arctic right now. This mountain has been started up. Oh, but that's one dead Elise.
No, getting caught out. The Call of the Force God really not doing much there, but
2 ultimates used, but it's not gonna matter. It's gonna secure them the Drake. And that really slows down SAS's biggest win condition for this game right now. They have a really good scaling team. You've got that Fiora who eventually on the side lane will just become unstoppable. You have the Senna who one day will just become unstoppable, absolutely outranging the entire enemy team. But you do need to get to that point. And TLH is snowballing this game right now.
Joey can drop out, trying to do the Rift Herald here, but the team of CS manages to see it and walk up to stop it. And it looks like they're trying to take over the
They're going to just take it themselves. Jarvan is on the way.
But is he going to be there in time?
You won't get there in time, and who will they choose to put this on? It goes on to Miximus. I think that's entirely fine. Usually you'd want it on your split pusher, but without your split pusher actually there to pick it up, not much you can do. The on Ninja Tabby is pretty much just so he can entirely lane and fight Fiora pretty much. It's not my favorite pickup, but there you go. I suppose it's probably fine if he's planning to just match Fiora the whole game. Miximus is looking top, potentially wants to put some gold into the pockets of I Hate My Life, taking down that tower, but will not put down the Herald. They're just going to wait on that one. We can see that all the rejuve beads are gone. One of them was used in order to build that adaptive helm. Engage in the bot
We have
lane.
the Flag Drag hitting 2 people and the Gabblit coming down. The Ashhold hitting the Morgana Black Shield. Brawl
That's the
taking a lot of
wombo
damage, but
combo.
it goes golden. But gets picked up in the end. Golly hexlicking forward, but not quite catching except there. But TLH are rewarded with a bot lane turret for that play.
And see some very interesting builds coming out. We've got the Frozen Hose on the Syndra. We have the Titanic Hydra on the Jarvan. Adaptive Helm on Galio. Really, the only things that's particularly useful on is Syndra's ult and Elise's passive spiders damage. So that's an interesting buy. We do have Moby Boots on Morgana, which I will always maintain is a terrible buy.
We, of course, having very different opinions of that. And I don't think that's a discussion we're going to have on stream.
Oof. I don't know, I haven't seen him roaming at all. So we're yet to see those mobility boots really make a difference anywhere.
Oh, we see SAS committing
Really nice
to the
trades.
third here, but the Ornn making a lot of trades. Gets down. He gets the knockout up, but missing the Fiora.
Maybe we'll
The
see the
vision
Moby
going
Boots come in
down.
here. Will Lucifer chase them down? Joey just throwing his entire Proto Belt into a single melee minion there.
That Melamine is not feeling well right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd like a Proto Belt to the face.
Jarvan coming in
Or
to
accepting
his mid lane,
Maximus.
looking to challenge this Elise.
They don't want to take the fight though. They're just going to play it safe. That's entirely fine. TLH do have to play towards winning at some point. Got to be very careful not to let this game go too far. Because, of course, there is a lot of scaling on the side of SAS Arctic. If they can hold on long enough, they will get a hell of a lot out of this game. Looks like Maximus is looking to drop this Herald in the bot lane, but it seems like Joey knows exactly what's going on here, just waiting for someone to come up, not fooled by 3 people in the mid lane. Maximus drops that Herald, but
But gets
that's
engaged on by the
one
Galio.
squished
Galio dealing a
spider.
lot of damage, but
Oh
Elise
no.
almost managing to flash away.
That one caster auto attack.
Galio wasting the flash though, not really having to use that. Ease in, lands a W onto the Syndra. But Braum is here to support as well. The exhaust going down. Two
Don't get the
members.
stun.
But here's Jarvan with the flag and drag. The Golly ult going down. The Jarvan dunking that Syndra. Elise goes golden. Well, a huge ultimate coming down from the Senna. And the Call of the Force God going down. The Ashe just managing to stick on to this Fiora with the slow and the approach velocity. And in the end, that's a 4 for 0 in the favor of TLH. And a dragon pickup on top of that.
Yet another Mountain Drake. Really not good for the Senna who's decided to build lethality. Of course, lethality is not so great when the enemy builds a bit of armor, and any armor that they do build is gonna be enhanced by these continuous Mountain Drakes. If TLH do get the 4-stack Mountain Drake, I think this game pretty much just becomes over. There's not really too much you could do against that. I'll be interested to see what Elise is building with the Morellos and the Blasting Wand. Morellos? With the Oblivion Orb and the Blasting Wand. Hopefully it's not a Morellos. Hopefully that Blasting Wand is going towards a Void Staff. as she realizes that a lot of MR has already been picked up by the enemy team and will continue to be picked up. And would also like to see that Void Staff picked up as soon as possible on the Syndra and Senna actually getting Armor Pen, because they've got to realize that there's a lot of tanks for them to work through. I think if this... Oh, but there's an engage in this
Well, the
mid
flag
lane.
going in there. With the Flag and Drag getting denied by the Syndra W. The Braum getting so slow by the Ashe, gets caught out and killed. But TLH was still on the chase here.
Enchanted Crystal
The Ashe
Arrow
arrow going down.
just flying straight off the bottom left of that screen.
Clearing the vision and turning on this Baron.
Now, there's a lot of ultimates up for TLH. This is not really a fight you want if you're SAS Arctic.
A huge
They're
stone going down.
trying to get the damage down.
The Ornn diving onto the center.
Oh, and now I hope my life is put out.
Yeah, the ult going down on I Hate My Life.
Maximus is still behind them.
Morgana surviving with barely a sliver of health there. Maximus dropping the combo. Almost tickling the Jolyu, but I feel like it's caught out by 3 people of TLH.
They're just running them down now.
And the flash knockout from the Ornn to finish off that at least. Are they going to turn back on this
Turn
Baron?
straight back towards this Baron. This game sort of... It was looking fine in that early game. It was going absolutely fine for SAS Arctic. You know, they had a later game scaling team comp. The only thing really propping up TLH would have been those Ornn items. But when we started getting towards these mid games and these map plays, it all just started to go a bit pear-shaped for SAS Arctic.
Oh,
but that's a great engage.
The Braum blocking a lot of damage. The Syndra
Unleashed
ultimate
power.
Morgana goes golden with the ultimate. The big root coming from the Senna. Senna gets a shutout on the Morgana.
Drop us down as well.
Managing to deal
There's
a
only 2
lot of
Barons
damage on the
left.
drop. But the Flying Drag chasing this Jolyu. The Jolyu eating away.
And that's
Fiora
pretty
chasing
big.
in the jungle, but manages to
You
go
buy
out.
yourself a lot of time there and get a lot of that gold back. It is still about a 9,000 gold lead. So we do have to be a little bit worried about that. However, you bought a lot of time. That Baron will not be anywhere near as long alive as it would have been had they just managed to get their backs off. And looks like SAS Arctic might also pick up this top tower, just getting themselves back a little bit more gold into their pockets.
I feel like SAS just proved here that the duel is not over until the last card is played, managing to pull that play pretty much out of nowhere.
Playing the reverse Uno card and going, it's not
Yeah.
you who win the team fights, it's us. Yeah, we'll have to see how they choose to play around the map. You would just expect really Fiora to be pushing these side lanes and continually creating that pressure, which we haven't really seen so far. Otherwise, their comp is very much one you would expect to just try and peel backwards with the Syndra and the Syndra, the Senna, the Braum. Elise doesn't fit too much into that, but she can still throw things like the Cocoon. Did end up finishing that Morello's, which is quite strange considering there's not healing on the side of TLH at all. I don't know where their healing's coming from, apart from maybe inbuilt Bloodline? Legend Bloodline, maybe? Ashe has it?
I think Morello is a common buy when you look at pro builds for Elise, and that's maybe why he built it.
Quite possibly here, Void Staff, of course, would have been a lot better.
Yes.
Oh, the Frozen Hose just thrown out as a warning shot.
It's barely missing.
Meanwhile,
Saying,
Ornn is the
don't
one
trust
split
this dragon.
pushing.
Ornn actually getting a lot of pressure in this top lane. Someone's gonna have to go to deal with him.
There's the
The Flying Drag
engage.
coming in, the Jolly ultimate, and the Ashe arrow. The Braum getting completely caught up here, but he's tanking so much damage. The ultimate going down, the flash going down. He's slowly ticking away, but he's gonna get away safely. No, because Jolly flashes on him. And the
Meanwhile,
dragon going in the Syndra as well. Meanwhile, the Orange is getting the turret on the top lane.
Meanwhile, are we sure that he knows he's playing on and not Fiora? What's happening here? This is what I expected to be happening from the Fiora, just split pushing all game on the other side of the map, really forcing that on in towards his tower. But no, it's the on who's the one
But
that's
SL's
actually
looking
doing
for
it.
another miracle steal here.
Flashes in,
Flashing
but
into the
that's
pit.
2k health.
And the TLH getting the kill and the third Mountain Drake.
That Drake was nowhere near low enough to steal. Except doing what he can to clear this wave. But there's
Oh,
the
but the Fiora
slows.
getting hit by one Ash auto, and that's just enough to not be
Call it
able
the
to get
Forge
away.
Guard.
College Force Guard going in, knocking up the Fiora, donating it over to the Ash.
Yeah, it looked like quite a flurry there actually of all of them trying to take that kill. Lucifer doing his best to live up to his name there. um, but yeah, something that is noticeable at the moment is Joey Kurt is sitting on 0 deaths. We do have one of those games
Ooh.
where we do have someone on no deaths. Fiora looks like she's moving towards that Triforce. It's the second. I think when you're so far behind, I would have preferred to just see the Cleaver. Because screw it at this point, you need your stats now. Cleaver's going to provide you those stats. It will provide you the armor shred, which will make the Ornn a lot less potent in that 1v1.
Jolyu as well being a champion that really wants to get into the middle of the fights and still managing to be on 0 deaths right now. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's the all of those tank stats that he's gotten and the fact it's jumping in straight onto the Jarvan. Their combination just makes SAS want to run instantly. They
But
feel
not
like they
being
have to
able
leave
to.
as soon as they get engaged on.
We have this game slow down a little bit now because we really don't have any objectives to take.
12k gold lead for the side of TLH. They don't have the best siege. They would really have to force into one of these towers. With the combined wave clear, there's not really anything they should be able to do. So I'll probably just wait for the next Baron or Dragon to spawn. Just take those and then try and push their advantage. They are currently up to 4 mountains. That would
Now we have the
actually
Ornn.
three mountains. It will be the 4th when if they get the soul.
Now we have the Ornn placed in the bot lane again with the teleport available while the rest of TLH are grouping around this top lane. The Morgana Binding going down on the Elise, actually chunking it for half her health.
And now accepts finally in that side lane, but he's 3 levels down because of how
But
long he's
Flagon by
spent
going
with the
in
team.
to steal the blue buff.
We got
As he gets
Sinks down
rooted, the
here.
camera pans away.
Oh,
The Jarvan ulting in, the Gully ult coming down, and the Ashe ult coming down again. This combo just happening over and over again. The Syndra going down, the Elise going down, but they're chasing the Braum now, but he's just so tanky. Popping the ultimate just to live a little bit longer. But we also have a fight here in this bot lane. The
and
Ornn doing a huge auto attack with that, whatever the passive proc is called, and dunks her into the
Brittle.
ground. But here's Senna with the
Oh
slows.
my god, and that is an aggressive
Terrible
teleport.
The Gully jumping in there, has E ready, has W ready. Manages to taunt and push
Taunt
down the
into the
damage
kill.
for the ace.
And I imagine this will be TLH running to that win. 4 seconds left on the Elise. They could potentially still mount a defense here.
They're opting for taking down the 2 inhibitors, which gives SAS a little bit more time to respawn. Yeah, they're deciding to move out of the base here.
They'll get some extra XP and gold from those super minions. But yeah, Baron is up. Dragon will be spawning in just over a minute's time, and that will provide the 4 Earth Soul, which is not exactly what you want. In fact, let's have a look at Ashe. Ashe is currently getting 19 bonus armor total, so she's not actually built any extra armor, so that's probably the 6 from runes, and the other 13's just straight up coming from all those Earth Drakes. So you can imagine that's a lot of armor. Those 3 Earth Drakes have equated to pretty much a cloth armor for Ashe right now.
TLH is setting up around this Baron now, deciding to start it, knowing that Fiora is bot lane, and she's teleporting up now, though. This will be a final stand for SAS if they decide to challenge this Baron. The Senna is catching minions in the mid wave.
And the engage comes through.
It comes through. Alder got
Elise is dead already.
at least trying to go in and smite,
Down
but
goes
the knockup on
Braum.
the Braum.
Down
Down
goes
goes
Fiora.
Fiora. Golly
And
just
there
in
we
their
go.
face, or just in their face, getting the ace. That rhymed weirdly well.
Weirdly well indeed. Um, and it's just Senna left. Will she choose to attempt a defense? Looks like it. Get a few more stacks. Unfortunate game for the side of SAS. I think they just didn't manage to get much done in that middle game. Um, with that in mind, I think I would have liked to see maybe a more scaling jungler from the side of Miximus. It didn't really feel like he managed to get off those early engages and uh, early ganks that you really would want to get off. Um, I think here the Jarvan really ended up being a massive problem for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, having seen it banned out in the second game. I think it would be very strange if um, TLH did manage to get their hands on that Jarvan Galio combination again. But we will have to wait and see uh, what that second game is. Let me just move us back to, we'll go to the tournament screen, which I did put a slight update on.
Ooh,
Aha, there we go. No, there are no logos. It took me long enough to get the screen to let me type on it again. But we've
I
got, you
like
see,
the question marks.
question marks. We don't know who it is yet. But soon we will be going into game two of this best of three from slightly above Synergy Arctic and TLH. So I think you have the VOD. We
Yeah,
just
I
need
have
to
it
load.
open.
Yep. Just gonna start opening it. So is there anything you would particularly like to see out of SAS Arctic in the second game?
I think TLH really showed their colors here, being a very, very strong team fighting team, because they had their um, strong wombo combo. They had the Galio, they had the Jarvan, they had the Ashe, and they executed well on it every single team fight. So I would like to see from SAS not letting TLH play to this side of them that they just showed were so dang strong, and maybe opt for more for a split push heavy or a disengage heavy comp to be able to counter this like refined team comp that we just saw coming out from TLH.
Hmm. Um, so loading up this second game. We can see, of course, going into the second game, uh, everyone should know if TLH win this, it is a best of three, so they will have the overall win and move on to the semi-finals. If SAS Arctic win, they tie up the series and we go to that final game, in which case we get one more game to see which of these two teams will advance to that semi-finals to be playing World Regenesis. So, what can we see from both the teams? Well, I can see that there's a couple of picks returning for the side of TLH. Otherwise, we have an entirely new roster of champions. We've got Lucifer has got his hands on that Morgana again, and we do see Ornn has his hand. Ornn is in the hands of Dropout. We do see nothing because I've not changed the screen over quite yet. You know what? Yeah, we'll change the screen over now. Why not? You guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Um, and I do need to wait. Nothing there. We'll just keep talking. Nothing's going on right now. We're not having some interesting,
NA production value
interesting
moment.
NA production value moments or anything. So, yep. So Dropout and Lucifer getting their hands on the same champions again. We can see this time Ashe is in the hands of Autokill, not Sandarius. So we'll have to see how that changes the matchup. Sandarius this time is playing the Vayne, has taken that cleanse, knowing that there is a lot of champions on the enemy teams that have taunts, roots, stuns. I think that's a pretty good pickup here. Joey Carr is going to show us the Azir this time, more of a carry-focused champion, as opposed to that Galio, one with very good scaling. Put that with the Ornn, put that with the Vayne, and wow, the TLH scale well into this game. And to just bring them a bit more of a front line and a bit more AP damage is that Nunu in the jungle for Armand. Not getting his hands on the Jarvan this time. I would assume the Jarvan got banned because, wow, that really made a difference last game. On the side of TLH, meanwhile, we can see that Accept this time is not going to try and play a hard carry, is taking one of those tanky frontliners, going to try more for that team fight style of gameplay. He has his hands on the Poppy. Poppy, of course, will be pretty good into this enemy team. You will stop the Ornn's E to engage. I believe you can actually interrupt Ornn ulting with the Poppy W, which I can't remember what it's called right now. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it can interrupt Ornn's headbutt on his ultimate, so he can't actually knock it back. I think you also can interrupt the Vayne Q. Steadfast Presence, that's it. It's been a while since I played Poppy. So there's quite a lot of good dash abilities you can stop here. Of course, Azir as well, you can interrupt him in attempting his Shurima Shuffle.
You can also interrupt the Vayne Q.
Exactly. Almost every champion can be interrupted in some way. Meanwhile, we also see Miximus this time is playing the Rammus. Of course, Rammus is quite good into champions that want to attack very fast, so it's good into the Azir. Even though it is an AP champion, if you can get on him and taunt him, he will attack you very quickly and do a lot of damage to himself. It can also use his taunt on the Vayne, but of course with Vayne's triple hit passive, Rammus is not so good into that. But again, quite a heavy gank focused jungler. I'd hope to see him trying to get his lanes ahead early. I Hate My Life in the mid lane is taking that Nico with the Glacial Augment, so providing a bit more teamfight focus, a bit more of CC. Autokill, of course, has his hands on the Ashe, and Skeins this time not going for the Braum, going for more of an engage frontline champion with the Alistar. I think Alistar's a really good champion. There's an interesting interaction with Alistar and Morgana. If you Morgana shield someone, and Alistar has enough points in his W, you can get a weird interaction where the W will cancel out the Morgana shield but not knock them back, and then you can Q them and still knock them up. Not many people would think of that, because why would you ever max Alistar W first over Alistar Q? But you can do that. Anyway, anything that you really want to point out about these team comps?
I really want to point out that just the sheer die potential that SAS has here, with the Alistar going in, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out, the Nico stun coming in, the Ram is just rolling in wherever he wants to, and the Poppy managing to block all of the dashes going out of the team fights. If they manage to get into the team fight, onto the Vayne or into the Azir, it's going to be very hard to stop this team of SAS. So I'm looking forward to see if they can execute on that properly.
Yes, definitely be something to watch out for. Just fixing something that has been pointed out, NA production values. Don't know what anyone meant. Clearly, it's had our names there the entire time. Anyway, are you ready to start?
I am indeed.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play. And as all of these players load into the Rift, we'll see the game soon to start. Xandarius is starting out with the more defensive Doran shield buy, just wanting to make sure he doesn't lose that lane too hard early. We do see the corrupting pot on the Poppy, hoping to maybe force the Ornn to back early or just get a little bit more of that lane pressure. Corrupting pot also on the Nico, so probably going to be going for a heavy trade focus in the early game, which is really good. You want to try and get the Azir down for the first couple of levels where you really can. It's really good to gank an Azir early. Pre-level 3, you can really abuse this Azir. So if you can get the flash out with one gank, you just instantly come back with another gank and try again. Rammus, really good for it because you can just taunt someone into place, sets it up for the Nico. So we'll have to see if that's something that they want to do. Looks like both junglers might be starting topside, so maybe we'll... Nunu is starting topside, so we'll maybe see a bot lane focus from the side of TLH. Whereas Rammus is currently trending towards this bottom side start, which could of course lead into mid ganks. That's what I really want to see right now from the side of SAS.
Another thing worth pointing out is that SAS need to try and close this game out quickly, because while some of their champions fall off pretty heavily in the late game, we have some insane scaling potential from the side of TLH with that Ornn, Azir, and the Vayne.
Yeah, exactly. And Vayne with a Morgana shield on her will be a real problem when we get towards this later game. Nice trade there from Dropout in the top lane, just stepping on the Poppy shield, making sure she cannot get her hands on it. Small trades coming through in the mid. And Waterkill just trying to make use of that Ashe W to get himself ahead. Except using the E there to maybe just try and dodge. Interesting that E was taken first. That should take a lot of trade potential away from Poppy. Her Q does a lot of
We
damage
have a
early.
long trade here coming down in the mid lane. The root coming down here. That's a lot of damage traded in that trade.
And this favors I Hate My Life just from the extra pots that he does have. Small trades still just coming out in this top lane. Not too much to see there.
We see a Nunigan coming in on the Nico here, but
Apparently,
the spectator not showing it for whatever reason, because
here
the
we
top
go.
lane
Of
is
course,
more interesting.
Spectator must know more than us and know nothing's really going to happen here. As you can see, he just
But
gets a
we're
really heavy
dealing a lot
trade-off.
of damage on the Poppy as well.
There we
Nico
go.
not having to force anything there.
Should have trusted in the Spectator. It knew nothing was going to happen in that mid lane. Instead, wants to show us the tank matchup. Everyone loves seeing the wet noodle tank fight. Now that we're at level 3, this is where we really start to see interesting things in this top lane. We do get to start to see these two laners actually express how good they are with the interactions between Ornn trying to get that knock up with
Okay, we
his
have a
E.
Rammus pinging that is going in here. Not walking overboard, rolling into
Nice
the canceling
interrupt.
the charge,
Ooh.
but Poppy bringing closer to his turret, managing to trade some damage back, but the Ornn getting away without really wasting anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that charge from the Poppy. Pretty much gave Ornn a free disengage. I think it would have been better to just walk up, use the slow from the Q, and then try and use the E to knock Ornn back away from the tower, or potentially into the wall. Oh, but Runu was really low there. Ignite goes down onto him, but will it have enough damage this low? Apparently not. Spectator Cam knows what's going to happen. Just shoves us away. He does get the flash out from the Nunu. See, wave being pushed in for accept. We expect him to try and cheat it back here. Gage in the bot lane.
Not really getting much, except some damage traded back onto himself.
So, phase rush Alistair. I know why people do it. Personally, it's not something I like to see. I think if you're going mobility boots, that's when you're really getting the use out of that phase rush. So this is one of those situations where I'd love to see mobility boots, just because it's going to make your rune choice actually impactful. Oh, big
But
trades
we
in this
have
top lane.
a good knockup coming down from the Ornn there, dealing a lot of damage to this Poppy. The Poppy, of course, trading back. They decide to leave it
Except
at that.
generally coming out for the worse on these trades.
I think what you have to keep in mind when you play face Rush Alistair is that your combo from the... Oh, but we have Rammus coming in with the roll here.
Instantly condemned
But
into the
getting knocked
wall,
into
into
the
the
wall and
root.
Morgana with it. But here comes
Here
Nunu with the
comes the
counter
ball.
gank, with the biggest snowball ever chasing that Ashe. The Ignite coming down, a lot of damage taken. The Ashe has to flash out. Alistair taking a lot of damage, doing three people, and the first blood going over to the Vayne there in the end.
That's really not good for the side of SAS. First blood goes on to Vayne. That's not who you wanted on.
Oh,
Rammus'
but the Ram is
charging
charging
speed
up
up.
here,
No, that's running out.
looking to go in.
Uh, yeah, like I said, Phase Rush Asta, personally, I think if you go in Moby Boots, great. It gives you that in combat mobility that you really need. If you're not going Moby Boots, maybe consider Guardian if you don't feel like you need to be more tanky, because it will help keep your ADC alive longer. Um, you see
The
an engage
thing,
in the mid lane.
hitting the knockup, but then just running away. Getting hit by the root as well, taking a lot of damage from this Nico. Almost dying, actually.
And if Nico
But
had
the
really
thing
been feeling herself there, she could have flashed forward with the ult, take that kill. Maybe wasn't expecting to do quite so much damage to the Nunu.
is going for this dragon right here. 4 people committing to this dragon. I think what you have to consider with the Phase Rush Alistair as well is that rather than W queuing, you actually want to try to proc the Phase Rush with your Q and E and auto attack to be able to walk around them and W back. And that is kind of the reasoning why you're going Phase Rush, so that you can position yourself better for those Ws.
Yep, if you have a setup which means you don't need to use your W to engage, that is definitely a very good thing to do. We get to see more engagement in this top lane. Dropout really just winning these skill checks against Accept. I'm not really sure when the Steadfast Presence is being used by that Poppy, but with Ornn's charge, you definitely have more than enough time to press it. Maybe Dropout's just baiting out, waiting for the right point. Stun into the wall, but Dropout's still just getting the better of all these trades.
Call it the Force God coming out here, hitting the
What?
knockup on the top of the
Why did Accept walk down?
flashes away, but the Orange still manages to get the auto down.
Why did he walk out of the tower? I don't... What?
I think he walked down to try and dodge the Call of the Force God.
He just walked straight up close to... Ah, my god, I do not understand.
The biggest snowball ever coming down on this Nico, knocking her up. The Nico goes down, stunning them both and giving her a shield, flashes out with a
Really
double
nice
root.
flash.
Yeah,
And
manages to flash the
Spectator
safety.
wants to show us this bind in bot lane, apparently.
Yes. Spectator knew that the play mid was over, so they just swapped right away.
Spectator is just too smart. And Spectator, it really loves Accept. It loves watching Accept and drop out. Constantly loves moving up to that top lane. Showing us the Ornn versus Poppy matchup. Slight trade coming down. Nice bait out. This is when Accept should try and get a trade off. He's not going to. Maybe feels like he's just too far behind in this lane. But you definitely can still win that if you're the Poppy.
The Ram is going in here, hitting the stun, hitting the taunt. The Ornn taking a lot of damage, has to flash away, but here goes the biggest snowball ever into the bot lane. The Alistair taking a lot of damage. W is
Ooh.
Nunu in towards his turret.
If that Enchanted Crystal Arrow had caught Nunu in the turret, that would have been a kill. That would have been beautiful, but knockback wasn't quite enough. There we go. We see the Steadfast Presence used perfectly on the Ornn E. That's how you use it. And you can use that slight window of a knock-up to then put down your Q and get a nice trade-off onto the Ornn. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go through. Joker takes
Ornn,
a tower shot to interrupt that back.
Ornn dropping back there, smashing his hammer angrily on his anvil to finish that Cinder Hulk. Bomb is Cinder.
I say it's useless ganking top. Actually, not so useless ganking top. More than useful than you could think. If you put the Poppy far enough ahead of the Ornn, then Ornn just can't lane.
Wait, did I just see the Alistair being level 4 right now? As
Yes.
compared to the
This Alistar's been bullied quite a lot in the lane. He's died twice. But yeah. And of course, you should be. I would love to have seen Rammus ganking mid a lot more. Bot's a bit of a harder gank, but I would still have loved to see ganks towards that bottom lane. You bait out the black shield, and you just taunt whoever the black shield's not on and take the free kill. But it's not completely useless ganking this top lane. We are getting towards that point now where it is completely useless because you're not going to kill the Ornn.
But a
Not
big
with
knock.
Poppy Rammus. If you'd managed to put him down earlier on, then it would have worked, but he's now just getting too tanky. Yeah, it's interesting Ornn made it through the ban list again. Maybe they were hoping that they would pick it. Ornn was first picked. We can't really know. Skane's still only level 5. Interestingly enough, if TLH were watching that, they should know there is someone in that brush. Because the Alistar passive did just send the heal into the brush. Flash forward from
Oh, the
Skanes.
flash Q just barely missing.
Oh, pulverizes the ground and nothing really comes out well there. Dragon is being started up by SAS. It is a mountain, which is of course very good for their team. You've got that Poppy, you've got that Alistar, and you have that Rammus, all of whom love having those extra resistances. And any extra resistances you can get, even on the less tanky players, is always nice. I like Mountain. I think as a single Drake, it is probably the best one. Maybe Cloud as a single Drake is the best one. We can see I Hate My Life going for that GLP again. Of course, he is on the Glacial Augment Nico. Glacial Augment makes the GLP much better. I wasn't so sure about it last game. I think I would have just preferred a straight up damage item. This game, though.
Yet again, we have an engagement happening in the top side. While...
Oh, yeah, but it's just a wet noodle fight.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to happen there. They're both full health.
Big snowballs and Morgana barns and stuff happening in the bot lane, but I don't know why the spectator chose to.
Spectator wants this noodle fight. I'm telling you, it loves watching this fight.
We have yet another engage in the bot lane. The Enchanted Crystal are just missing.
Skanes is really low, having to use that ultimate.
The
cleanse from Sandarius. And Lucifer KSing that kill.
Rammus is rolling here. Just rolls over
That's
that
one
thing.
kill picked up from the side of SAS.
And approach velocity, just chasing the Morgana, but
Lucifer lives on no health. I think auto kill had cancelled an auto attack there. Doesn't manage to get that. I think except just managed to kill Dropout in the top lane as well. There we go. Poppy starting to come into her own in this matchup. But yeah, we'll have to see how the game continually goes. In terms of the gold lead, we can see that slight lead has been picked up for the side of TLH, just over 1,000 gold yet again. But there is that 2 Drake lead for the side of SAS, so they definitely can pull this back by getting that Ocean Soul. Ocean Soul, of course, really, really big. Worth a hell of a lot of gold and a hell of a lot of scaling potential. However, I believe the gold lead is in quite a different place here. You can see there's a 1,000 gold lead for that Vayne in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, most of the gold lead for... Where is the gold lead for SAS? Oh no, it's about just over 1,000 gold lead. Apparently that's the only real gold lead we have in the game. Pretty much even everywhere else, which is interesting. Stun into the wall. They're going on Lucifer first, now turning for Sandarius.
But Sandarius managing to pick up the kill on dash, and meanwhile having engaging in the top lane, the Nico hitting that ultimate on the Nunet to take him down, but the teleport coming in from the Azir.
Coming in from Azir. Taunt goes down instantly into the root.
It's targeted right away. The Call of the Force God going into knockup. All 3 members of...
Slows onto on.
The Poppy's flat-keying her even further away.
Puts the Q down for the slow, then gives Dropout disengage.
Well unstoppable there, but still the damage from Nico just enough to take that one down despite drop, are playing that pretty well with the Unstoppable as well. Now SAS are moving to claim their prize in the form of this Rift Herald.
I'd hope that they put that gold into either the Nico or the Ashe right now. Ashe has fallen quite far behind in terms of her items and how strong she is. Youch, yeah, that's first turret already going. And Nico could really use that boost just to get up to that 2-item point and really become disgusting on this map. Looks like TLH, SAS in fact, want to force something around this bottom lane. They know that Dragon's spawning in less than a minute, and this is a really good win condition for them if they can get to it. We haven't really seen too much from the Azir. He is working towards that Nash's Tooth. Did go for the Luden Lost Chapter first. Shuffles away.
The biggest snowball ever going
Oh,
on.
but the Black Shield.
The Black Shield denying the ultimate from Ashe, and Article just getting outplayed there, really.
Nothing really he could do. He had to throw out the ultimate just to try. Hope that he managed to hit the Nunu in time. But very unfortunate for him. Oh.
More tanking turret shots, but still nothing interesting happening in this top lane.
Just more trades going down from both sides.
We have more action towards this dragon here. 3 members
the
of
interesting
the
thing here, you can see On pathing away because he wants to TP down to this fight. Poppy should really be following him here, making sure that he can't get the TP off. She can interrupt the TP. SAS can win this fight.
The bind going down on to...
Biggest snowball ever. Ultimate was interrupted.
Nunu's taking a lot of damage.
Nunu's almost down.
The outside
in the back line.
Sandra Reyes.
Oh, flash
the
forwards.
The is going down, but the wall is blocking off that Triforce push.
Oh, but that damage is huge.
No, damage is
pretty
huge
much just auto kill left now as a carry to pull this up. Oh, they condemn into the wall though.
On the Ashe.
Now it's just Accept and Skeins left, but the Vayne is still alive and there's nothing you can do.
Chasing the Poppy. There's nothing you can do to get away from that.
It's just Skeins. He could potentially steal this. Jumps into the pit early.
Do they know he's sitting on a board?
I think he would have been better off there just waiting. He could have waited behind the pit there, tempted to steal or something at the very least, but there we go.
Going for a valiant effort but here comes Rammus rolling in, but Vayne just securing the dragon while Ornn zones the Rammus away.
And that's a real big blow there for the side of SAS. It puts them behind, or that fight put them further behind in gold, and it's put them further away from that Dragon Soul win condition that they really need to be able to close out this game. They do have that Rift Herald still. They can put it down to get a little bit of pressure, a little bit more gold, but you can see that on these outer towers on the map have barely taken any damage. And just SAS, today is not their day. Or yesterday was not their day.
Maybe today is their day and they should have played the game today instead.
Oh, if only they could have. Maybe it would have gone differently, but it just feels like everything they try and do is sort of going
a little
bit wrong for them.
Here for SAS. They really group up to get this outer turret in mid lane to open up the map further, but we have the biggest
snowball ever
here. Going wide.
Auto-kill stepping forward for these extra auto attacks. Getting damage down whenever he can. Potentially engage.
On the Nunu. The Nunu is going
TP being channeled. Poppy's on her way.
A triple
knockup was huge.
Nunu dealing a lot of damage to the enemy.
Skeins is extremely low. Ashe shuffled back into the team. Can they get onto her? On no health. Ashe is down.
Vayne is doing a lot of damage to this Varus.
And SAS are just left trying to get away. They can't peel enough for their Ashe. She just gets flipped back into the rest of the team, taken out. Ashe doesn't really have enough damage to pull this fight through.
I feel like that was an amazing play by Joika on the Azir because he knocked back the enemy team, preventing their only escape route through that entrance, and just let his team decimate them on the spot there.
Yeah, and you can see SAS weren't really too sure what to do, but there we go.
This is a lot of damage coming from Sandreas, forcing the flash. Flash is after him, hitting an auto attack on that minion there. That goes back to farming.
And we can see this time though, everyone has died in this game. Bit of a more scrappy game. We're not going to have anyone deathless.
The Nunu going in very aggressively here.
Yeah, Nuno, Armand and Lucifer really syncing up towards this mid game, running around the map, using the biggest snowball ever along with that black shield in order to just run people down. And it's showing. They're getting the extra dividends from that. Maximus wanting to take this fight, Accept is on the way. Crystalaro comes in.
Poppy going in, dealing a lot of
That's
damage.
one down. Rammus is also gone though.
Also gone. Nuno interrupted. Nuno trying to get away, but he has an Ash on him.
He will just live.
So,
TP's coming in behind SAS. Horn is used.
Shuffling up there. Horn is used, knocking up the Alistar. Asir able to pick
Ultimate
up
just
the
used
kill.
way too late there.
Here's the biggest snowball ever, connecting on the Ash. A
Also
lot of
kills.
damage coming from Nuno. While Poppy's dying under the turret here, and Nuno managed
Trade
to
kill will get picked up there.
So we have TLH here with Baron buff minions
In the bottom
plowing
lane, Vayne and Azir both still alive. This tower will just melt before them. I hate my life trying to get into that back line, but it's just too easy for the Vayne to jump away.
But the Vayne taking a lot of damage from the
used.
there.
But she uses the cleanse and she just walks out. Will lifesteal back up here. Oh, Skanes jumps forwards. But that lifesteal!
But the lifesteal, he gets done. Vayne manages to stay alive.
It's just too much.
Asir left alone here to try and get that inhib down. Not quite managing to take it before the team of SAS get back on their feet.
And to be honest, at this point of the game, that's entirely fine. Why bother taking that inhib right now? You've broken the tower. Go take the rest of the towers on the map. Keep snowballing yourself ahead. If you get a good fight, you can still go and end through that. You don't need the super minions there straight away to end. But getting that tower, you will be giving over extra gold and XP to the enemy team. See Ornn items as well, starting to be picked up by the side of TLH. They're going to get their second Ocean Drake. That's going to provide even more % health healing. Will start becoming a real problem. And Accept just flipped back. And him and Skanes just both immediately go down. And here we go.
Just forcing down this mid lane turret here.
They're just going to keep forcing down these outer towers.
The biggest snowball ever going in. The Black Shield as well, not able to CC in, but turning back just to try and force down this mid lane turret. The side of us is having a bit of wave clear too.
And we can see as well, this Black Shield was not taken to keep Sandarius alive. That's why he has the cleanse. This Black Shield was taken to let Nuno engage.
Oh, but Nuno's going in again.
Here we go again. Black Shield is used on the Nuno.
Call it the Force Guard going in as well.
And he's just running into the back line.
Asir doing a crazy shuffle through the wall there.
Hey, my life, getting engaged. 4-man stun.
4-man stun.
Into the root.
Two
Hot Blossom was not enough. Sandarius is low. He's down.
Doing a lot of damage on Sandarius.
Azir is also very low. Morgana goes down.
Asir
Ashe does get knocked up. She's got to kite this out. Has to play this very slowly. They need to kill Azir if they can. Walks into the soldiers and just falls down, and that will be the fight over. And a win for TLH. Accept will clear out this wave. It's nice stun into the tower, but you can see that tower's just tickling drop out here.
But here comes the Rammus as well. Now it's a triple tank battle going down in the mid lane.
Gets the taunt down. They're doing damage. It's
the
slow.
E just barely not connecting into the wall. The Ornn
Rammus is on his way back. Gets interrupted by the minions.
Going down, but neither person is just dying here, but
And if some
more
noodles,
dropping eventually.
if you slap two wet noodles against each other for long enough, one of them will eventually snap. We can see there the Ornn was just there a bit too long, falls down, does give a little bit back into the pot
But now the
mid
team of
of
SAS
SS.
finding the Morgana, the double knockout, the taunt, but the
Oh, but
Black Shield
Sindarius is here. Oh, and the snipe
it's
from
nice.
downtown.
Enchanted Crystal Orb across the map. Not really across the map, it was in mid lane.
It was
Well, it
it was a
sounds cooler.
snipe,
It
and
sounds cooler if we say across the map.
exactly. I can see that Ash is still trying to get towards that third item. Has the BF sword now, will probably be an Infinity Edge third. You have to think.
Yeah, the Ram is going in here, but
They
deciding
they don't
not to
really
do.
want to take these fights. As bad as it sounds, they sort of want to stall out this game a little bit longer. Get that Ash towards that Infinity Edge.
But the taunt coming on the Nunu, the Poppy is also here to support, throwing that shield at him, knocking him into the wall.
There's the
But here comes
stomp,
the
but
Quality of Force God to support. The Vayne also here dealing a lot of damage, getting eat away.
that
The
was just
Poppy trying to crash
Accept
the
and
wall.
Maximus trying to take a fight on their own when they had no vision of the enemy team at all. And they pay the price for it. You can see I hit my
Now
life
TLH is
trying
looking
to
for
do
the
some
timing here.
damage. We'll probably throw a Q over in just to attempt to steal. He's just walking around the side.
Here
Going for
going
that
and
Pop
this
Blossom.
guy
Does get the
the triple
stun, but
stun, but dying straight
doesn't
afterward.
matter.
But Sandarius is on the chase. He has the ultimate pop, but going for some minions instead. As you're
And
commanding the entire
Ornn
army.
is TPing to the bottom lane to push down this inhib. We can see Autokill will probably start auto-attacking onto Dropout, trying to get that auto-kill, but it won't do any damage at all. It's just killing these minions. Slowly working them down. Accept is going to throw a few of those minions away. Oh,
Is
and
he
there's the
going
Shurima Shuffle
the going
into the
golden
bounce
right
house, and
now the
they'd
cow
work his gains
is
down.
sent back to the fountain.
It's 3 down already. Autokill doing what he can, but that front line
He's
is
not
just
good.
too big for him. He can't
How
get
did he into
through
the
the
middle
Ornn.
side?
He's trying to clear out the
Golden
wave.
Forge God going out, not
Flash away
hitting
from
anyone.
Autokill. That's one tower down.
But a big boot coming down on the Morgana, but they can't
TLH are playing
come
it slow. I hate my life.
another
They're picking up one
huge
kill. They get the Morgana down.
Morgana.
Oh, but Ashe is CC'd. And that's her down, and that is probably going to be the game. Sandarius just going to auto this tower down while Armand zones. I hate my life away from him. There's the ultimate used. Sub-Zero, I think it's
Gonna
called. And that'll
focus
be
down.
the end of Game 2. TLH taking the clean 2-0, taking this quarterfinals and moving on to the semis where they will face against World Regenesis. And I think those games look pretty clean from TLH. I'm quite excited to see them against World Regenesis. I think that'll be a very interesting match, and we definitely got a strong showing from them here. We'll have to see who the eventual winner of that match will be. Considering everything you've seen today, what do you think about this upcoming semi-finals? Of course, you are on one of the teams, so
Yes, I am. So I'm obviously going to be a little bit biased.
I don't expect you to say who you think will win out of you guys or VS. We'll talk about the other side of the bracket. Is there a
Yeah.
team you'd really love to face, or a team you think you want to, or a team that you think has a definite advantage or favorited here to win the
I think
opposing semi-final?
TLH, the new roster here at TLH really showed their colors here. It was the first game we've seen out of this roster, and I think they performed pretty well. But they're facing off against World Regenesis in that semifinal. World Regenesis, of course, having a pretty strong track record overall as a team.
Yeah,
Uh,
really strong track record.
I
Um,
think we've managed to take maybe one or two single games out of them, never actually beating them in a full series. So they have a very, very strong team coming up against this TLH. I'm really looking forward to seeing the game because TLH really proved that they have a very good team fight coordination and execution here. But my prediction is that Project Genesis is going to be too much for TLH in the semifinals.
I would have to agree with you there. I think the favourites of the semi-finals would be World Genesis on that side of the bracket for sure. I don't think it's by any means away from TLH. I think especially jungle and support synergy was on point. They were running around in that mid
Yeah,
game, really pressing their advantages. It was looking really good. Uh, you could see in the first game as well, they had the same sort of synergy between the jungle and the mid lane. Galio was just always there, ready to ult onto Jarvan, uh, following him up on all the plays that he made. And this team really seems to pull together around that jungle role and really use their champion synergies together. So really looking forward to see what they decide to pull out against World Regenesis in that
yes, I was
semi-final.
very impressed with the execution that they had in those team fights because you saw basically a replay of every team fight happening. Because you had the Jarvan go in, the Galio followed up with that ultimate, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from the Ash just hitting someone, and that's just what happened every single team fight, and they kept executing on it well.
Yeah. Um, and of course, you don't have to give away anything about your side of the bracket, but on the other side, we do have guys in real life coming up against Virtual Secret in our other semi-finals. Confident? Not
Excited, I'm
excited.
gonna say.
It should be a real banger of a match.
It should be a real banger on the map. The game between Valkyrie 5 and Virtual Secret was they were close. The first first game was very close. Virtual Secret definitely showing their colors as well, also being a pretty new team in here. So I'm looking forward to playing them. Uh,
And you don't have to say
I'm
more than that.
excited. I'm excited about the game.
Yeah, it should be a real good series. Both of these semi-final series will be best of fives, so there is a slightly more element of how can the teams fare in a longer matchup. Um, Of course, both the winners there will move on to the finals and we'll have a final champion. Those best of fives hopefully will be done this week. We'll do the finals next week, where we'll also be asking 4 teams for our next league regular season. Yeah, for our next regular season. So that will be starting probably come this weekend. So if you know anyone that would like to take part or anyone that has a team and would potentially like to take part, do let them know about the league. We do have a Discord. It is down below if you have just tuned in to watch and see what is going on. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thanks for casting with me, Trollzoe.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. Are we going to do interviews in the finals? Yeah, probably. We'll do interviews at some point. We'll remember. We'll have it set up. Not really set up right now for stuff. I need a nice background for interviews, really. Otherwise, we just have this, which is not terrible, but could definitely be better.
Time for the face cams to come out.
Oh, the face cams again. I'll look completely different. No beard this time. So there's that to look forward to. Right. Uh, Yep. Thanks for coming to watch. We'll catch you all again soon. See ya.